G'day, guys. Welcome back to Stat Chat Sports. You're here with the four boys, myself, Josh, Steve, BT, and Tazza. We are back for the weekly AFL podcast. We are reviewing what was a very interesting round 9 of action in the AFL. And the way we like to do it is head straight into our regular segment, hits, misses, and hold fire. Fellas, we're looking for a team that was a big hit this week, a team that was a miss, and a team we just need to wait a little bit longer to really assess what they're going to do this year. Steve, you're the man that gives us a hit, and we're looking for a big one this week.
Yeah, mate. BT's game of the week last week certainly lived up to expectations.
Oh, yeah.
We're looking at St Kilda this week. St Kilda's going to be the hit. Yeah, I mean, that was a swing game for both sides. That puts them firmly in that pack, keeps them in line with the rest of them. Just a good win all round. I mean, a huge third quarter out of them to turn that swing. We were split 2-2 here, I think. Josh, you and I had Geelong to win. And
yeah, that's
we were
right.
wrong.
We were very wrong.
Yeah.
And BT, you've been very harsh on St Kilda all season long. Are you convinced now?
Especially that win against Geelong, especially without Jack Steele hurting his shoulder in the second quarter and then playing out the game. Now he's out for up to 8 weeks. That second half, he didn't tackle. He was not tackling at all. Just easy handballs and stuff. So he was just there because they already used that sub. Yeah, they're looking pretty good. I'll back him here.
So when you say you're backing them in, what are we talking? Are they? I mean, they're definitely playing finals at this point. They're 7-2. Yeah. It's hard to see them missing from here, but top 4. Are you seeing them as a top 4 team at the moment?
I could see. I don't think they're a top 4 team, but I wouldn't be surprised if they hit that 4th spot. I think we've got the top 3 are pretty lined out with Melbourne, Fremantle, and Brisbane. I think it's hard to go past them for the top 3, but that 4th spot's up for the taking because the teams around they're all pretty level.
I think it could be hard without Steele.
Yeah, a Crouch. Sinclair's probably going to get more time in the middle. So yeah, they just need someone to take the reins and step up.
Tazza, do you think a man like Jack Billings, he's just starting to come back into the team at the moment, get a bit of form back? Is he the man that's going to have a bit of X factor about St Kilda and give them something new?
I mean, how many years has he been in the system? Every year, there's always someone saying this is Billings' year. This is the year he takes over the comp. For me, it's been too long. I mean, I like him. I really want him to do well, but I think he's had way too many chances, and he gets a run in the middle, and then he gets booted to a forward flank. I think this is the time the Crouch is really going to take over this midfield. He's had a few good games lately. I think he's going to be looked at to take the reins and lead that team. But hopefully we can see a couple of younger guys step up. Maybe Winhager gets a bit more of a role in there. He dominated in the VFL before he came into the team. Could see some new faces.
Another guy, an old face, I guess you'd say, Tazza, one from your old team, Paddy Ryder. Arguably his best game in Saints colours. He was exceptional in the ruck, and some clutch goals as well really helped win this game for the Saints.
He already kicked 3 goals this week, I think.
Yeah.
It was a fair effort. Yeah, no, the best ruck tandem, probably along with Melbourne in the comp. Those two really, Marshall and Ryder complement each other. Ryder's got the tap work. Marshall's got the all-round ground game. But yeah, Ryder was exceptional. He just hasn't lost that ability just to put the ball where his mids want it. His tap work's just exquisite.
Well, there you go. BT, we are tracking you against St Kilda. I think it's safe to say at this point, St Kilda probably going to have your measure this year.
I think they can thank me. I think that's what they can do.
Oh, really?
They just needed your rocket.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Another player, though, who turned that game on the weekend was Zach Jones. That second half, third quarter, he turned it on, got in the faces of these guys, of these Geelong players, and yeah, he's going to play a crucial part now as well with Jack Steele going out.
Yeah, nice work from you, Steve. It's a nice little hit. We like that. Again, we've been a little bit harsh on St Kilda this year, but really glad to see them up and about and shaping up as a top 4 contender this year.
Before we move on, just quickly, just an honourable mention to Gold Coast again for the win against Fremantle.
Back to back from
it could have been
Gold
a hit
Coast
as well.
Oh, they were phenomenal. I think Gold Coast have really snuck up on the competition this year, and if they keep these things up, Clarko is going to be no chance of getting a gig there because Stewie Dewey's going to lock up a contract and and keep going with this team. Really impressive stuff from the Gold Coast. BT, over to you with the miss this week. Where are you looking?
Well, we skipped the miss last week and gave the win to Essendon with their massive fourth quarter. Back to the miss, and we're back to Essendon. They were shit house. They were terrible. Wow, they played like an Eagles and North Melbourne. That's how they played. That was absolutely.
They're a bottom 4 team this year, BT. I think you can't argue with that.
Oh, for sure. They just got hammered around the ground. Sydney had 60 more possessions, but had 25 more tackles as well.
Oh, that's poor.
Essendon only had 30 for the game.
Man, for the whole game.
Ridiculous.
That's terrible.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Then that taunt from Luke Parker,
that was
perfect. It was spot on, exactly how Essendon played that game. And you can't go past Luke Parker, who was one of the hardest players in the game. So there was 19-5 marks inside 50 as well. That's just a smashing. That's absolutely ridiculous. They deserve to be right where they are. They shouldn't have got the win last week, to be fair. Shouldn't have given them props last week with just one good quarter. So, yeah, they deserve the miss this week.
Steve, I've got a question for you, because we look at, teams and their premiership windows and whereabouts they are in relation to contending. I mean, where are the Bombers? I think they've overrated where they're at, but really, where are they at?
I honestly have no idea what's gone so wrong with them. Like, they've played finals the last 2 or 3 years, I think, and I think we had them finishing somewhere in the 8 in the season predictions, but I just don't know what's gone so wrong for them. Like, if the performance is anything to go off of, then they're light years away from winning a premiership.
Tazza, they've got the midfield there. They've got the pieces back. Parrish is there. Shields there. Obviously, Merritt, a key contributor. 2 metre Peters dominant up forward. You just look at this team and they've got enough pieces there to be able to do something with it.
Yeah, see, I don't know if they do. I mean, I just feel like I think they were overrated. They overperformed last year. Everyone thought there was going to be natural growth, and the growth looks like, well, it was last season's growth. It's just not. There's none to be had. The defence for me it's a bit of a weak link. They thought they could turn Jaden Laverde into a genuine good backman, and he's been pretty awful. Jake Kelly was meant to come in and firm that defence up. Hasn't really worked. Ridley's been okay. The midfield's, Shields been, he still can't discover that GWS form that they netted them. I think it was a couple of first rounders.
Yeah,
for him.
They paid a pretty heavy price for him,
and they still can't find that form out of him. And for me, Merritt's a great midfielder, but Merritt and Parrish it's been well publicised. They're junk footy. They seem to just ping it around each other and don't really do a hell of a lot with it.
They're pretty boy footballers. That's what they are. They don't like to go in hard, get the contest. We look at Parrish in the Anzac Day, 30 possessions at half time, but it was like 100 metres gained or something. That's it. It's just these easy possessions and do nothing with it.
It's junk footy. It's just easy, quick handballs straight out. No, there's no darting 50 inside 50 kicks. There's no hitting someone, a good forward up on a lead. None of that good footy.
If you're a Don supporter and you're watching this, let us know what's the problem, where you think they're at. Vent your frustrations. We're happy to hear it. We're happy to take it. We know it's a tough time for Bomber supporters, and let's hopefully things pick up in the latter stages of the year. Tazza, the hold fire, the last part of this segment, we're looking for a team where we don't want to overreact too much to what happened over the weekend. Have you got someone in mind?
I do. Flagmantle. We're going to call them Fremantle because they've really disappointed this week. They probably could have been the miss, but hold fire for 1 week. Gold Coast have got a bit of a hoodoo over them. I mean, if you want to be a contender, you need to win these games, but the real test comes in 2 weeks for them. They've got Collingwood this week, a bit of a tune-up game, and then we really assess where they're at against Melbourne. That'll be the big test.
Yeah, I think the conditions also is another reason for the hold fire here, Steve. I don't know if you caught any of the Freo game, but torrential conditions up there in the Gold Coast, and they really struggled with their ball movement inside 50.
Yeah, I saw a little bit of it. I don't think you can blame the conditions. I mean, Gold Coast had to play in it as well. Yes, you can argue that maybe they're a bit more used to the conditions, but at the end of the day, that's just searching for an excuse. Maybe I'm being a little bit harsh, but I've always been a little bit hold fire on the Dockers anyway, to be honest. Like,
Hey, okay.
this probably is probably a one-off. Like, not many people would have picked the Gold Coast to win here.
Well, hold on, Steve. I mean, you did in your bold prediction last week. You nearly nailed it.
I know.
Yeah, so did BT. Well, BT picked it as well. I was going to get to that, but now that you mention it, but yeah, yeah. So for me, it's like this is part of the reason why I was sort of a bit hesitant to say, yeah, Dockers are a real top 4 contender anyway, because they've got this potential slip up in them. So, and I just don't think you can blame conditions. I think that's a piss poor excuse.
They've had 2 games where they've really let themselves down. 2 games where, I mean, they've had a lot of good games, but it's 2 really disappointing performances against the Saints and now Gold Coast. I don't know why these performances keep creeping in, but if they want to be legit, they got to get that out of the game.
It could be a bit of experience as well. Like, you've got such a young team and they're riding so high at the moment. A couple of them could have looked at this game and just gone, oh yeah, nice little quick, easy win. And they got absolutely trounced. So probably, hopefully, a wake-up call for them, I'm sure.
I think the thing that's a bit concerning for me is that both of those losses we're talking about, the Gold Coast one, obviously, and the Saints game, it was just a consistent theme throughout the whole game where they couldn't move the ball, they couldn't win the contested footy, and they really couldn't overcome that problem. So, like, once they got stuck in a rut, they struggled to get over the top of it and get out of that hump. So that's probably the thing that we need to see from Freo is, can they adjust on game day? If something's not going their way, can they get past that and get through that? And if they're going to be a real contender this year, I think we need to see them do that, fellas.
Yeah, I completely agree. They if they don't get their ball movement across halfback and open up the zones, that's where they start struggling. So that St Kilda game was the exact same. It was kind of wet conditions there, which is obviously harder. I'm with Steve. You can't blame these conditions because these top teams, they adjust to the conditions. Melbourne and Brisbane, they would adjust. You just bang down the line, hard ball. That's what you have to do. But like you said, Josh, they just can't change their game plan through the middle of the game. That's where they lag, and that's where they've got to change.
When you look at the stats on this one, they had 65 inside 50s, but they only went at 32% efficiency going inside 50. So they just weren't hitting a target. They were just bombing it in, and they couldn't realise the fact that their key forwards were doing nothing for them on the day. They've got one of the best small forward brigades in the comp. Obviously, Switzkowski wasn't playing. He's a key part of that. But they got to play to their strengths, and they just couldn't figure it out and make it work. So that's a problem. But I agree. We'll hold fire. We'll leave it be. Wait and see, Tazza. I like the call, though.